We're here today to discover the secrets of St Nicholas's Church, which is in North Grimston, a small village just on the outskirts of Malton. The church was built in the 12th century and its tower added in the 13th century. A vicarage was built nearby in 1408. The east window was added in the 15th century and the church was extended in the 17th century. It was restored in 1886 by George Fowler Jones and was Grade 1 listed in 1966. The church is built of stone and consists of a 4-bay nave with a south porch, a 3-bay chancel and a west tower. At the west end is a lancet window and an early 13th century sculpture. This is described by Historic England as depicting St Nicholas, but the corpus of Romanesque sculpture describes it as showing a bishop. I'm also on the hunt for apotropaic marks, and we have found some in the main entrance. We can see the VV or W markings, which are known as the Marian mark. The VV often stands for Virgo Virginium, which is a Latin phrase and is meant to invoke the spirit of Mary for protection. You will often find this type of graffiti in the entrance to the church. People thought engraving their initials would bring them protection. Apotropaic marks really are fascinating and it's something I encourage you to research on. There are many fascinating markings that could be hiding in a church near you. It is important to remember that there are also masonry marks, which are not to be confused with apotropaic marks. It is a fascinating subject. I encourage you all to go and research. It is just amazing. It is a very, very dreary day here in Rydale, but we will persevere. We are on the hunt for something fascinating which I have not seen in any other church. There was an Iron Age sword found here in 1902 as well, and in the Domesday Book it was known as Grimston. Inside there is also a magnificent rare font that is often thought to be Saxon, but they say that it is Norman for some reason, even though to me it clearly looks like it's Saxon. Here we also have some crosses that have been engraved into the wall, another apotropaic mark. People would scratch these off, collect the dust and use them for protection purposes. This is an old Victorian way marker that is very, very degraded over time. Here is another possible masonry mark. They would mark the X's on the brickwork that they'd done, so they would get paid for that. An absolutely beautiful sculpture in the building, thought to be St Nicholas, but they think it could be a bishop instead. It's beautiful regardless. Here we have some more crosses carved on the outside of the wall. These would be apotropaic marks to ask for protection, invoking the spirit of Christ and Holy Mary. They are everywhere on this church. I've never seen so many crosses. And I don't think they have been recorded, so I will record them in Historic England. So if you do find any apotropaic marks in your local church or on the outside of your local church, please check out Historic England and record them on there. They're in the process of collecting a huge database of these marks before they are long lost to the weather, time. Such an important part of history that really does need recording. And here we are on the lookout for the Sheela-na-gig, and there is also a male with his penis out masturbating. Never thought you'd see that in a church. Yes, there we go. There's not that one, not this one. We went through them all very carefully because the weather was against us that day. Very rainy, very dreary, but the detail that is left on these is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is the male with his penis out. You can just see the tip there. He's got it grasping it in his hands. It's very, very unusual find on the church. Trying to zoom in as much as I can. It is very, very warm. And This could be another one. I can't remember if it was a ram. I think it could be a ram, this one. It was very hard to see and make out. This one looks like a snake. I think it's a snake head. Again, these were all symbols that would ward off the evil from the church. They would put ghastly ghouls and beasts to ward away the evil. It could be a dragon head. I think it could be a dragon head or a lion head. And that's a ram. That's the ram. Oh no, it's a pig. Pig. Again, a lovely ghoulish face. And I think that's a dragon. Looks like a dragon head to me. And here she is, the Sheela-na-gig, with pendulous breasts, legs wide open, ready to scare off any evil spirit with her vagina. I just find these fascinating. It was amazing to actually see, because I've been meaning to go here for such a long time. I am so glad that I managed to get some footage before they are completely lost to time. I highly recommend going to see it just for this. And this is a reset Anglo-Danish stone depicting two beasts facing each other. Fascinating that it's lasted so long and all this time. There is such great detail. Here we have the remains of a Norman cross slab grave marker, I think, up in the top right corner, and we have evidence of archery practice on this old church in the corners where they've sharpened the arrows when it was mandated to practice archery, and all other forms of sport were discouraged. Here we have a broken gravestone marker just leant up against the church. Again, something carved on there, I'm not entirely sure what it could be. This is a beautiful ancient building. A higgledy-piggledy of stones put back together over time. And here we have a very, very worn mast dial, which has clearly been relocated because it is not on the south side of the building. Such an ancient medieval way of saying it's time for church at this time. Fascinating mast dials, another interesting topic along with the Portropaic. There are so many different varieties of mast dials. See if you can spot them on your local church. I can guarantee you will find one. And more evidence of archery practice here. Clearly a lot of restorative work has taken place on the outside over the centuries, and it is kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, trying to figure out which bits are the oldest and which bits are the new. Beautiful stained glass window. We have a window engraved in the corner of the church there. Again, that could be a Portropaic mark, or it could just be local graffiti. Now here, the entrance to the doorway is where we usually find the most kind of a Portropaic marks. Here we have crosses, more crosses, to invoke protection and call upon the Holy Spirit to save their souls. It actually baffles me because I have read a few accounts of this church being boring, and it is far from boring. The more you look closely at things, the more history reveals itself, and there are so many markings on this old stone that just tell a story if you're willing to dig deeper. It is just beautiful and fascinating. The inside is a bit plain, everything's been whitewashed and redone, but this font is incredible. It tells a story of Jesus Christ and his followers at the Last Supper. There are so many detailed pictures on there. There is the fish and the bread. It is just beautiful. It's a big heavy top, probably been replaced later. But just look at the detail, it's just incredible. The lighting isn't the best, but you can see the childlike faces on there, and the very, very Saxony feel, which is just baffling why they call it a Norman font. It really does scream Saxon. And it is very, very unusual to have this level of art on a font. Most fonts are very plain and basic, but this tells a story, really does, and a lot of effort has gone into making this. Here we have the disciples sat at the table at the Last Supper, holding their food, clutching their bread. The detail is just incredible. Clearly somebody thought a lot of this church to put this amount of effort into the font. It has lasted the test of time. Brilliant. Here we have the clock tower and the bells up there, which rang while we were there. It was very lovely sound to hear, because a lot of the old churches, their bells no longer work. I know it costs a lot of money to restore them, and this church isn't in the best condition on the outside, so fingers crossed it lasts for many, many, many more years to come. But yeah, the inside is very plain, very humble. There's no great stained glass windows here, apart from at the top. It is beautiful Norman archway, but in every other sense it is very plain, and it can easily be thought of as boring, but I find it far from boring. I find the churches that have the most character are the ones that have been left and haven't been restored. Beautiful old churches that have just been left with all the original markings. Here we can see some more scratchings on the post. Remnants of an older church. The roof has definitely been restored at some point. It definitely isn't original for the age of the church. We've got some very old graves. A dusty pile of books. There are also some 14th century coffin slabs and several memorials, one of 1723 to Thomas Langley, which is very elaborate, with a tablet flanked by the Corinthian columns resting on a shelf and a scrolled pediment. Another apotropaic mark in the furniture, the lotus flower. That's a very, very beautiful marking. These are the 14th century slabs I was talking about. Definitely the oldest part of the church. And some beautiful memorials here. And the coat of arms on this slab is just stunning. And we have the Lord Jesus Christ, the shepherd, surrounded by the sheep. It is a beautiful stained glass window. So overall, I find this church far from boring. It is seeping and oozing in history. And I can guarantee that your local church will also have hidden histories that are there to be discovered and recorded. So please go to your local church, look for those apotropaic marks and the carpenter's marks. The more you look, the more you see. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and if you enjoy what I'm doing, please subscribe and like and share. I am fairly new to this and I would love feedback if possible. Thank you very much.